Hey friends, welcome back to jazzpianolessons.tv. Good to be with you again. I'm Glenn, and today we're looking at walking bass lines. All right. All right. So one of the things we need to think about when we're doing walking bass lines is I kind of treat it like we're going on a bit of a journey. And so maybe the simplest way to maybe think about it is beat one, or whenever the chord changes to the new chord, you want to be playing probably the root note of the chord. So the root note means if you're playing an F chord, an F7 chord, then you want to be playing the root, which is the F, right? You can play the other notes as well. Alright, so that's one thing you can do. But probably the most common thing that is done is that when you play a B flat chord, you play B flat. When you play an E flat chord, you play E flat on that first beat. But let's say you've got, I'm just doing a blues in F here. I've just got a nice voicing here for my F7 chord. So I've got my 1 and 3, my 3 and 7 I mean. And then here I've got my 13 and my 9 of the chord. If you want to learn more about those chords, I'll put a link in the over here for you, and about these types. So what we're going to go on a journey. So we're going to go 1, then we're going to have another 3 beats, and we want to get to this B flat. So you can think of it like, let's go up the scale. 1, 2, 3. That's up the scale of the F Mixolydian, because that's what we're doing at the moment with our F7 chord, right? So 1, 2, 3. Now we've got obviously one more beat. Now what often I do is a kind of little trick that I do, a little hack, is I will play, not all the time, but often I'll play the note above or below the note that I'm going to. So for B flat is the note I want to get to, I'll either play the A or the B, and that kind of works nearly every time. Watch this. I'll do 3 Fs. Alright, that worked okay. I mean, it's not great, right? I'm going to do the same thing again, but I'm going to use B this time. And it kind of leads into that B flat okay. I mean, that's not an exciting way to play, but let's do it this way. That works, or too, right? The other thing we could do is we could go chromatically, because we know we've got another beat, right? So chromatically, not as in here, but we're just filling in time. 3, 4, 1. Make sense? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. You might, another way of going from F to the B flat, you might want to go backwards. Now if you'd go backwards, you could probably just go down the scale. That's just going straight down the scale of the F Mixolydian, right? Now you could do what I did before there, and you could still use that B. See, that still works? Or that A, right? So that's one way to do it. So basically going on a journey from one chord to the next chord, and then kind of using a note approaching above or below a half step or a semitone. To the next note. That's one way to do it. The other way you could do it is you could think of, you could play the actual chords. Right, so there's the chord, and then do that. That kind of works. Right, as I'm doing a little kind of a little bit of swing here, just get some rhythm there. Right, now here I just came down. Let's go down. That's down the B flat. And then I went, okay, we've only got a little bit of time left. I'm going to go down chromatic. Alright, you can do the chord again. Let's go there. Back to the C. Alright, now because I only had 2, now here's probably where thinking about that note above or below the note is really useful. It helps in when you want to play really fast and you don't have time to think, especially if you're playing not just chords and accompanying a singer or a sax player or something like that, but you're playing melody. Sometimes it's hard to kind of think of the two, you're thinking of your melody, but you've also got to think of the bass line, right? Unless you've prepared it before, which kind of defeats the purpose of, in some ways, playing jazz. Some things we prepare, but we want to be spontaneous as well. So it can take a little bit of the decision making away if you think. So here we've got C7, F7, B flat, 2 beats, 2 beats, 2 beats. All right. I mean, obviously you can do something like that, but it does get a little bit boring. So you can do the note before, which is still part of that C chord. The note below, just above the B flat. So you get. Oh, I didn't press the E hard enough. Right, you could do something like that, right? The other thing you could do is using that same kind of idea, you could do that. Now it's kind of added in a random kind of little note there. Now, when we do that, often it'll also, because we're going often in the cycle of fourths or a 2-5-1 kind of scenario, sometimes that note that is above, one semitone or 1/2 step above the chord that we're going to, it can actually be the tritone substitute. Alright, so that kind of ends up being the tritone substitute anyway. So it kind of works out in using some different ways of approaching a harmony as well. Right, one way I like to practice this is just go around, the cycle of fourths, 2-5-1s. Alright, you can just kind of stick with C chord, C to the C major scale. I mean, you won't go wrong. If you stay in the key that you're in, you're not going to go too wrong. It's not maybe going to be as exciting as maybe chucking in another note. Practicing through the cycle of fourths, change the key, go to the next key, G minor, do a similar thing. I'm going to keep going up. I'm going to go down the B flat, arpeggio, right? B flat major 7 arpeggio. Go to the next key. Do the same thing, or go the other way. Up the chord. And you could just keep going around the cycle of fourths. You could play major chords, you could play, the 2-5-1s, you could play just dominant chords, do that. Or of course go around play some songs, play the blues and play it in different keys. Alright, I hope that's helpful for you guys. Guys, leave some comments down below if you've got any questions. I'd love to answer them for you if I can. And don't forget to subscribe and to ring that bell so that you can get notified every time there's a new video. All right, all the best guys. Catch you soon.